On January 27, 2025, a company you've never heard of just detonated a nuclear bomb in Silicon Valley. In 24 hours, Nvidia lost $589 billion in market value. That's more than the entire GDP of Sweden. Gone, evaporated. Google's stock tanked, Microsoft's AI division went into crisis mode, and Mark Zuckerberg? He just realized he might have wasted $65 billion on the wrong technology. The weapon? Not a new chip, not a breakthrough from OpenAI or Google DeepMind. It came from China, from a startup with a fraction of the budget, operating in a country supposedly years behind in AI. And what they just did changes everything. This is the story of how the AI arms race just entered its most dangerous phase, and why the next 12 months will determine who controls the future of humanity. Let me paint you a picture of how insane this is. For the past 2 years, the AI game had one rule: spend more money. OpenAI's GPT-4? $100 million to train. Google's Gemini? Even more. Meta's Llama 3? Zuckerberg literally said he's buying 350,000 Nvidia H100 GPUs at $30,000 each. Do the math. That's $10.5 billion just on hardware. The message was clear. If you want to compete in AI, you need Silicon Valley money, American chips, and infinite resources. And then, DeepSeek shows up. A Chinese startup, founded by the guy who runs a quantitative hedge fund, operating with maybe 2,000 cheaper GPUs while American companies are hoarding hundreds of thousands. They just released DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1. The cost to train? $5.5 million. Let me repeat that. $5.5 million versus $100 million. That's 1% of the cost. And here's the kicker. It performs just as well. In some benchmarks, it's better than GPT 4.0, better than Claude, competing head-to-head with models that cost 100 times more to build. But how? How did they do this? 3 reasons. 1, they didn't use the most expensive chips. While America hoards Nvidia H100s like Dragon Gold, DeepSeek optimized for cheaper chips. They worked around US export restrictions by being smarter, not richer. 2, they open-sourced it. While OpenAI keeps everything locked down, DeepSeek released their model to the world. Why? Because in China's strategy, spreading influence matters more than quarterly profits. 3, they used a technique called mixture of experts. Instead of activating the whole model for every task, which burns energy and money, they activate only the parts they need. It's like having a Swiss Army knife instead of carrying a whole toolbox. Suddenly, the entire foundation of Silicon Valley's AI strategy, outspend everyone, just crumbled. Because if a lean Chinese startup can match you at 1% of the cost, what were you spending that other 99% on? But DeepSeek wasn't alone. Just as Silicon Valley was reeling, Alibaba drops Qwen 2.5 Max. Now, Alibaba isn't some scrappy startup. This is China's $200 billion e-commerce giant, the Amazon of the East, and they've been quietly building AI infrastructure for years. Alibaba claims to outperform GPT 4.0 on math, coding, and reasoning. It beats Meta's Llama 3 405B, the model Zuckerberg spent billions developing and gave away for free to hurt OpenAI. Here's what makes this terrifying for the West. Alibaba has cloud computing infrastructure across Asia. They have e-commerce data from 1 billion plus users, and now they have an AI model that rivals anything from Silicon Valley. While American companies fight over enterprise contracts, Alibaba can deploy this across manufacturing, logistics, finance, government services. All across China, Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, regions where American AI companies have zero footprint. This isn't just about who has the best chatbot. This is about who controls the infrastructure of intelligence for half the planet. And here's the philosophy difference that matters. Silicon Valley, we'll build the best AI and charge you $200 a month. China, we'll build AI that's good enough, make it free or cheap, and integrate it into everything until you can't live without our ecosystem. One strategy maximizes profit, the other maximizes global dependency. Guess which one wins geopolitically? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Remember that $589 billion Nvidia lost? That wasn't just about DeepSeek's model. That was Wall Street realizing something horrifying. What if we don't need Nvidia anymore? For 2 years, Nvidia has been the undisputed king of AI. Their H100 GPUs were the oil of the AI gold rush. Every company needed them. There were waiting lists. Countries were stockpiling them like nuclear weapons. Jensen Huang, Nvidia's CEO, became tech's most powerful man. His company's value hit $3 trillion. But here's the crack in the armor. DeepSeek proved you can achieve top-tier results without hoarding the most expensive GPUs. They optimized for efficiency. And now, Chinese companies are developing specialized AI chips designed specifically for inference, running AI models, not just training them. Companies like Huawei have their Ascend chips. Alibaba has their own Yitan processors. These aren't general-purpose GPUs trying to do everything. They're laser-focused on AI workloads, and early tests show they're matching or beating Nvidia's performance per dollar. Here's the nightmare for Nvidia. Training big models? That happens once. Maybe you need expensive GPUs for that. Inference, actually running the AI billions of times for users, that happens forever. And if specialized chips can do that better and cheaper, Nvidia's $3 trillion valuation was built on being irreplaceable. What happens when they're not? This is why the stock crashed. Not because Nvidia is bad, but because the market just realized the AI hardware game is about to fragment. Nvidia's monopoly? It might have just ended. And the company that ended it came from a country that was supposedly crippled by chip sanctions. So let's zoom out. What's really happening here?
This isn't about chatbots. This is about the architecture of power in the 21st century. Whoever controls AI controls economic productivity, military technology, information systems, financial markets, scientific research. The US strategy was outspend, outchip, out-innovate. China's counter-strategy? Out-efficiency them. Make it cheaper, make it open, make it accessible, and deploy it everywhere America isn't looking. While Silicon Valley chases artificial general intelligence and $100 billion valuations, China is embedding good enough AI into factories, cities, governments, and daily life across the global south. One approach might create the most advanced AI. The other might control how AI actually shapes civilization. And here's the scary part. This is just the beginning. DeepSeek and Qwen 2.5 are opening moves. Wait until you see what happens when Chinese AI gets embedded in Belt and Road infrastructure. Countries facing Western sanctions adopt Chinese AI ecosystems. The global South gets advanced AI tools at 1% the Western price. The AI Cold War isn't coming. It's already here. And the first major battle? China just won. So here's my question for you. Who do you think wins this race? The companies with infinite money or the ones with infinite motivation to disrupt? Drop your take in the comments. And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening in AI, hit subscribe, because this story is just getting started. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.